Yo, my beats, they are hard.
All right, hello, welcome to another episode of the BCSN SportsWrap. Brian Fulford here, and A.D. Drew fumbling around with something from our home studios, live here on another Sunday night, the BCSN SportsWrap, the longest running show on the HBCU interwebs. Yeah, good. Drew, how you doing tonight, man?
Man, I'm doing fine, Brian. How about yourself, man? Ready to see how much we get screwed tonight?
We being who? Just HBCUs in general,
HBCUs
SIC, HBCUs in general.
Wait a minute. Hold that thought, Brian. Well, you mentioned SIAC.
Shout out to everybody who's jumping in, joining us. I know we're a half hour earlier than normal. Obviously tonight, because the Division II NCAA football rankings are coming out at 6 p.m. So we want to get out a little bit ahead of that, and maybe give a few predictions. And obviously, when everything goes on live, then we'll be able to go from there. I already got people buzzing.
Buttered.
Huh?
Since we know where I get my bread buttered, Brian.
Oh, you got your SIC championship shirt on?
No, this NCAA championship shirt, but I definitely got my SIAC shirt on.
Oh, okay. I see. Yeah, I figure, we gotta wear shirts of some champions today, as there's a champion out on the West. I don't want it to ever be said that I am not for the HBCU culture, that I am not for the HBCU sporting diaspora. So, I found this shirt. I lost a bet, and I always hold up on my bets. When you come with the shirt, you know what I'm saying? I had to actually go out and get this shirt because I lost a bet with Dr. Cavill. So I figured in honor of Prairie View winning the SWAC West in convincing fashion last night, I thought I'd represent for PV. Maybe a little wishful thinking come the SWAC Championship game. I won't say anything like that. I'm not going to, some of y'all may think that, but I'm just representing now today, since they won the West. Congratulations to Coach Tremaine Jackson and PV. So we'll get into that a little bit later. So, Drew, it looks like you're the one having some internet issues today, or either it's me, one of the two.
I don't know. It might be me, but
your audio is good. You may have to do what I did last week: is cut your monitor off or cut your video feed off.
I'm on, as you say, I don't know. Ever since I moved into this new house, my internet works when it wants to.
Yeah, exactly. My man says some might call me a front runner. Well, I don't know about a front runner, but I like winners. I'm like, who's my guy? My linebacker, Mike Singletary. I want winners. So I don't know about a front runner, but I like winners. And yes, they said, Drew, you need to get the fiber optic internet. And yes, I'm glad the family always knows where my heart is. My heart is always orange and green. Exactly. What's up, Mary 305? Hello to everybody else in the chats. If you're joining us, you might be watching us on Facebook via the Black College Sports Network or our BCSN SportsWrap page. On YouTube, the Jericho Broadcast Network's JBN, BCSN YouTube page, my JBN Online. The Black College Sports Network is part of the Jericho Broadcast Networks. And you can join and be a part of that channel. So we appreciate everybody who is a subscriber. Your support of the Black College Sports Network means a lot. And, of course, everyone watching on Twitter and Instagram Live as well. All right, Drew. Well, we got 2 championship games to quickly go over before we get into some predictions. And I know you got some thoughts and predictions on what's going to happen in the Division II rankings. So you want to kind of go through that?
I would like to kind of get in. I don't know if we should get into the predictions first, because we've had some teams, especially that I'm predicting, that may be screwed, and I don't know if we've got enough time before the selection show comes on at 6 o'clock Eastern time. So we may just need to get straight into into these predictions and then kind of come back and recap these games, Brian.
Well, I mean, if we do that, I don't know what's worth talking about the games. But I mean, if you want to go with the predictions first, I mean, we can go there. I mean, for the sake of time, I don't want to be here for we like to say we want to be here for a good time, not a long time. And so after we do the predictions, we kind of maybe need to move forward. But
yeah. But here's the big thing, Brian. Because in Super Region 2, we had not one, but 2 teams that actually, I believe, let me look at it. Two of the 4 teams in Super Region 2 that were supposed to win did not win their conference championship, which in this case may cost a team such as Kentucky State, an opportunity to get into the I'm sorry, Brian. Opportunity to get into the playoffs. I hit the wrong button there, Brian. I wasn't trying to take yours now.
No, it's all good. I was just I was throwing some background images while you were going through some of that stuff.
And also in Super Region 2, Fayetteville State, who was sitting at the number 8 slot, probably is not going to get in either. They're going to be on the outside looking in. But
let's set it up first, Drew. I mean, let's set it up before because some people may not know what we're really or talking about. Let's set it up based on final results. The season ended yesterday. Okay. So let's talk about how the season finished for the people. We got Super Regional 1 and 2, correct?
Yeah, let's start with Super Region 1.
All right, Super Region 1.
Super Region 1. Going into this weekend, you had Kutztown sitting at the number 1 slot, Virginia Union number 2, Johnson C. Smith number 3, Indiana University, Pennsylvania number 4, California, Pennsylvania number 5, Frostburg 6, Assumption 7, Fayetteville State 8, Slippery Rock 9, and Charleston, West Virginia was sitting at 10. Your number 1 team, Kutztown, beat Indiana University, Pennsylvania for the PSAC title. So one handled their business. Virginia Union lost to Johnson C. Smith, the previous number 2, in the CIAA Championship. First upset, if you want to call that an upset, but based on rankings, based on what Dr. Gavia taught me, if a lower ranked team beats a higher ranked team, that is an upset. So we're going to call it an upset, especially for these purposes. So Johnson C. Smith beat Virginia Union. Then Bentley, out of the Northeast 10, upset Assumption to get that auto bid. And then Frostburg in the Mountain East Conference knocked down the auto bid. Here's the thing this year, instead of the preferred qualifiers like we've had to have in the past, Brian, Division II has gone to the auto bids. So we're going to make this simple for everybody. In every region, there are 8 teams per region. 4 teams get in on an auto bid. 4 teams get in on an at-large. When one of the teams who is ranked does not get that automatic bid, that's going to cost somebody, and it's going to affect Super Region 1 and Super Region 2, just so everybody knows. So right now, Brian, your auto bids for, once again, for Super Region 1, Kutztown out of the PSAC, Johnson C. Smith out of the CIAA, Frostburg out of the Mountain East, and Bentley out of the Northeast 10. A couple of those teams were not ranked, Brian, in the top 10 going into this weekend. So they're going to bump somebody. If you're number 7 or number 8, you're getting prepared to be bumped. So if we want to, and I know we're going to talk rapidly because we've got the rankings coming out at the top of the hour, but I've got my predictions on who's going to be those top 4 seeds and who's going to get in each of these super regions, Brian.
So let me go back here. Let's start with Super Region 1.
We haven't even hit the 2 yet.
Yeah, so real quick, going into the CIAA championship game, Virginia Union was 2. Is that correct?
Yes.
And
behind
Johnson C was behind
3.
Frostburg, and JCSU was where?
3.
Oh, so wait a minute. Okay. So 2 and 3. So
right. They're safe.
Okay, they're safe. Obviously, they're safe.
Fayetteville, who was sitting at 8, is I don't even think they're on the bubble. I think their bubble has burst.
All right, let's go to your predictions then for 1, because I think worst case Johnson C and Fayetteville, or Virginia Union and Johnson C. Smith will probably flip spots. And
that's what I have on my prediction there, Brian.
Okay.
Kutztown's going to remain at number 1. Johnson C. Smith will get the automatic bid out as the number 2 team. Virginia Union will be at large, and they will be ranked number 3. Indiana, Pennsylvania will get the number 4 with an at large. So 2 at larges, 2 autos among your top 4. The reason you don't see the other 4 with a ranking by them, Brian, is after 4, they go by geography to set these matchups. It is not 1-8, 2-7 in a traditional format. Their goal is to keep teams under, it's either 400 or 500 miles, because once you get above a certain number, then the NCAA has to fly that team, and they want to try to avoid flying these teams.
Well, the first thing that in terms of ranking, Frostburg would take on Johnson C. Smith. Assumption would travel to Virginia.
But you have to go by geography, Brian. Don't go by the ranking.
Well, no, I'm going with, okay, so wait, I don't know. I'm looking at how you paired it. You just
no, these are not pairings. The 4 on the left or your automatics, your 4 on your right, or the teams that are going to be at just kind of at large with the goal of not having conference foes play each other in round 1.
Are there only 3 conferences in Region 1? I see.
There are 4 conferences.
So who's the 4th conference? Because you only have 3 auto
PSAC, Mountain East, Northeast 10, and CIAA. Only 1 Mountain East team is getting in, that being the winner, Frostburg.
So wait a minute. So which one of the 2 Northeast 10 teams is the auto bid? Because you didn't have that list. You have both of them as at-larges. You have Assumption and Bentley as at-larges.
I'm sorry. Bentley is the automatic.
Okay. All right. So now, would Bentley move to the 4 spot?
No. You still rank them. You still get ranked one through 4, but
Okay.
an automatic bid does not mean you get to the 4th spot. An automatic bid just means you get to the tournament. It's just like the NCAA men's basketball tournament, Brian. Just
Yeah.
because we win the SWAC does not mean we're going to be the number 32nd ranked team, even though there are 32 conferences.
I got you. Okay. Well, the one thing that is interesting is it sets up for a potential Johnson C. Smith versus Virginia Union
In
part
round 2.
3. Part 3.
Yes, in round 2.
In round 2, right? Part 3, game 3 in round 2, and Johnson C has taken both games so far. So instantly cue up the.
Incorrect, Brian. They split.
They split. I thought.
Yes.
Okay, maybe I was wrong.
Union's loss was to Edward Waters. Johnson C's loss was to Union.
Okay, so it'd be the rubber match. Potentially,
it would be the rubber. It's Ali Frazier 3.
Okay, all right. I'm sorry. Okay, that's what it was. All right, gotcha. I'm on the same page with you now. Okay, good stuff. Good stuff. I don't. And so you say there's no chance. So, real quick, what would have to happen for Fayetteville State to be considered, in your opinion?
There's no way. Bentley stole Fayetteville State's bid.
Okay, so you say 99.9% chance, no way.
No way.
All right. Yeah, so Blue Jacket, they would meet in the semis. Okay, let's go over to Region 2, Drew. Predictions for Region 2. I think Drew may be dealing with a little technical difficulties. Again, final score. You good, Drew?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay,
right.
let's go to predictions for Super Region 2.
Let's start off with the conferences. You've got the SIAC, the Gulf South, and we know the issues, the battle between the Gulf South and the SIAC, specifically between Kentucky State and Delta State.
Okay.
Hold up, put a pin in that when I get done with this conversation.
Okay.
The South Atlantic Conference and the newest conference in Super Region 1, which is Conference Carolinas, which is what caused the CIAA to be shifted to Super Region 1. All right, here we go, Brian. Some of the highlights. Albany State defeated Benedict for the SIAC title, which was a better game than expected. You know, we thought the blowout of these games was going to be this game, not in the CIAA.
Correct.
Here we go, Brian. Valdosta State, unranked Valdosta State. I believe they were coming in at like 15 or 16 coming into this weekend. Beat West Florida. They earned the Gulf South automatic bid.
Okay.
Domino number 1. Domino number 2. I'm sorry. I didn't go over the rankings. Let me back up and go back over.
Go to the rankings.
Coming into this weekend, West Florida was number 1. Albany State was number 2. Newberry was number 3. Benedict was number 4. Wingate was number 5. UNC Pembroke was number 6. Kentucky State was number 7. Delta State was number 8. Emory and Henry was number 9. And Carson Newman was number 10. Obviously, if you've crawled up under the rock or just refuse to follow Division II football, you miss the beef between Kentucky State and Delta State this week over a previously scheduled game that was that Kentucky State pulled out in order to play non-conference opponent shorter as mandated by the SIAC because of the new agreement with the Conference Carolinas. But I'm not going to beat on that dead horse. Now let's get back to these results. Albany State beat Benedict. Valdosta State, upset number 1, beat West Florida. North Greenville beat UMC Pembroke. Now notice, Brian, I didn't call North Greenville in their top 10. Domino number 2 to fall. And Newberry got the SAC automatic bid. They were previously number 3. So automatic bids: Albany State, Newberry, North Greenville, and Valdosta State. So we've had not one, but 2 teams that have stolen the bid out of Super Region 2. So with that being said, Bryan, here's your prediction for Super Region 2.
Albany State with the number 1 seed, huh?
Yes.
Okay. We've seen an HBCU get that 1 seed before.
Yes. Benedict had it a couple years ago.
Right. Speaking of Benedict, they would get the 4 seed according to your. But whoa, Drew, I don't see another HBCU in there according to your predictions. Whoa. Why is that? Please explain.
Because they were number 7. North Greenville, who was not supposed to be in this conversation, handled their business and entered the conversation. Valdosta State. Yes, that Valdosta State was their coach, Tremaine Jackson, left and went to the team that Bryan has on his shirt right now. And the team that everybody left for dead has won to go south. So in a twist of irony, Bryan, the 2 teams that were battling, talk about they should have been facing each other, may both be left at home this weekend.
Primarily because of North Greenville
and Valdosta State. You can't put it on one without putting on the other one.
Okay, so basically those 2 were bid stealers in putting in the phrase of the NCAA basketball phrase. North Greenville and Valdosta State were bid stealers.
Yes.
Okay.
You're 100% correct on that, Bryan.
It is what it is. Wow.
So the selection show is about to begin, and I am going to be monitoring it, and I will cut in when they get to our 2 super regions, Bryan.
All right. Well, I imagine they'll start with
well, they start how they want to start with this.
Okay. Well, so we'll be looking out, and we'll see. Presumably, we'll have 2 members from the CIAA and 2 members from the SIAC in the NCAA tournament. So good stuff. All right, let's take our first break, and when we come back, maybe get into a little bit of conversation regarding the CIAA and the SIAC. Again, little surprise, but maybe not. I think from a historic level, I think we can ask the question, how did Johnson C. Smith get where they were? Right? I mean, not only was it, well, we'll talk about it on the other side, because I think it's a fascinating story, and it's a great opportunity for any school that's kind of in a similar situation where they were 4 or 5 years ago to be able to say, hey, we too can maybe one day win a championship after decades of irrelevancy. Inspiring story by Johnson C. Smith. So we'll talk about it on the other side. You're watching the BCSN Sports Wrap right here on the Black College Sports Network. We'll be back in just a moment.
This is the Dean of the College of HBCU Sports, Kenyatta Cavill of Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Come mix it up in the lab where the course lecture is in session every Tuesday from 6 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time on Facebook Live, YouTube Spreaker, or the BCSN app, as we discuss all things about the HBCU sports culture, including exploring the week that was in the sporting HBCU diaspora, as well as the upcoming week of HBCU sports. With me, the Dean, the College of HBCU Sports, on Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Course lecture dismissed.
It's never too early to plant the seed, to share the tradition, and instill a sense of pride in your HBCU with your little ones. HBCU Pride and Joy Children's Boutique helps you share your school spirit with a wide selection of adorable kids apparel and accessories officially licensed from your favorite HBCU. Visit hbcupridejoy.com and follow us on all social media at HBCU Pride Joy on Facebook and Twitter.
For over 30 years, HBCU Image has been more than just an apparel store. We've been a movement, a state, a legacy. We celebrate the pride, the purpose, and the culture that make historically black colleges and universities legendary. Whether you're a student or a lifelong supporter, our gear lets you wear your HBCU story with confidence and style. Because when you wear HBCU Image, you're not just wearing clothes. You're wearing culture. You're wearing pride. You're wearing purpose. HBCU.
College football fans, the Cricket Celebration Bowl is celebrating 10 years of crowning an HBCU national champion. A champion will rise at Mercedes-Benz Stadium on December 13th as the MEAC and SWAC champions clash in Atlanta. Join us for championship football, interactive fan experiences, and iconic marching bands. It's an HBCU family reunion that you don't want to miss. See who will be crowned the next HBCU national champion. For event and ticket information, visit thecelebrationbowl.com.
All right, Brian, they have started in Super Region 1. Thus far, Johnson C. Smith has gotten the number 2 seed in Super Region 1.
All right. Welcome back to the BCSN SportsWrap, folks, by the way. Brian Fulford and A.D. Drew here. We are live watching the results, the NCAA selection show going on right now. Johnson C. Smith, number 2 overall.
In Super Region 1.
In Super Region 1. Yeah.
And they're about to reveal the number 3 seed, Brian, before we move on. And as soon as they finish this, we will put the bracket on the board.
All righty.
The drama. Virginia Union has picked up the number 3.
All right. This is how many years consecutively now has Virginia Union been in the playoffs, Drew?
It's either 3 or 4.
Okay.
And I believe this is the first time ever for Johnson C. Smith.
You said first time ever?
Yes.
Okay. Well, you'll break in here, I'm sure, if you think if we get an announcement of any other school coming in. But we got to make mention of, very briefly here, the historic feat of Johnson C. Smith in the CIAA championship game. 45-21 victory over Virginia Union. Union had beaten Johnson C. Smith 28-10 previously in the season. Johnson C. caps off a 10-1 record. That loss to Union was their only loss of the season. So they essentially avenged their only loss. Maurice Flowers, this is his 4th year at Johnson C. And I was just taking a look back at the previous history. He inherited or came into the program there located in Charlotte, North Carolina, off of a 1-7 season. The 2021 season was a 1-7 season. And if I'm not mistaken, that was the season in which there was the fight. Remember the fight between Johnson C. and Livingstone?
Correct.
that was prior to him, but that was the last game of the season, ruled a no contest in the record books. So, Johnson C had just come off of winning their first game of the year the previous week, beating St. Augustine for homecoming. And then, of course, played the commemorative classic against Livingstone. And then you had to fight. And the game was basically called no winner, no loser. Okay. Enter Maurice Flowers in 2022. Essentially, they go 2-7 in his first year. Then in 23, you started to see the change happen.
All right, here we go, Brian. Not to cut you off, Albany State does get the number 1 seed in the Super Region 2.
Not gonna let me finish. Not gonna let me finish my story. Go ahead, Drew.
Albany State getting the number 1. As important as your story is, Brian, let's stay in the moment.
Stay in the moment, Drew. I was in the middle of telling the story. Stay in the moment. F you. Stay in the moment. Here we go.
That's Valdosta State. I knew it was going to be
Christ.
Valdosta State. That's going to be a heck of a battle there, Brian. These schools separated by what I believe, maybe an hour, just over an hour from each other. No, hour and a half from each other, Brian. That's going to be a nice battle. That's going to be a good crowd down there in Manning, Georgia. See, Wingate picks up the number 4. Wingate got the auto out of the SAC. Ooh, Benedict does not get a top seed. First one I've gotten wrong thus far.
So that means Benedict will travel to Wingate.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And you're looking at a possible Albany Benedict 3 in round 2.
Yep. You still holding on? You still saying there's no chance Kentucky State gets a spot?
There's a chance. It's between Kentucky State and Pembroke for that last spot. Do they value 9 Division II wins versus the 8 that Pembroke has? That's the question, Brian.
How about the fact that Albany State's only 2 losses are to the number 1 seed?
You mean Benedict? All right, this is where it's going to get interesting. What do they value more, Brian? Pembroke or Kentucky State for this last spot?
Lawrence says Kentucky State is in.
All right, he must be a little bit ahead of us.
I don't know. He could just be predicting. I don't know.
Newberry, right where I thought they would be. Wingate and Benedict flip-flopped based on my predictions.
Newberry is in where? Virginia?
Yes, they're out of they're in Carolina, South Carolina, out of the SAC. Okay. In Newberry, South Carolina.
Oh, here we go.
And Kentucky State does make it in. They bumped
Lawrence.
out Pembroke.
9 wins, Drew. 9 wins. They value 9 wins.
9 Division II wins. And they did not bump Kentucky State to move them to Super Region 1 as they could have with them gaining an at-large. So we have 5 Division II teams in, Brian. 5 D2 teams.
Hey, congratulations, Albany State, Benedict, Kentucky State in Region 2. Congratulations to Johnson C. Smith and Virginia Union in Super Region 1. And Albany State is the 1 overall, correct? Or I thought Johnson C got 1 overall too, didn't they?
No, they got number 2 overall.
They got number 2. Okay. All right, so we got a 1 overall and a 2 overall in the region.
Yes, but we do have 3 of our 5 teams are hosting first round games, Brian. I think that might be a first.
Okay. Albany State hosting, Virginia Union hosting, and Johnson C. Smith hosting.
Smith are hosting. Yes. So all right. So you can continue on with your Maurice Flowers story now, Brian.
Nah, it's dead. It's dead weight now. I think we got good stories. I mean, good, congratulations to Coach Flowers. Congratulations to Kentucky. I mean, how about just the fact that I think you have some really good stories. I think this will be interesting talk for the week. You've got Kentucky State and their I gotta look and see what were the predicted order finish. What was Kentucky State's predicted order finish?
6, 8, somewhere up in there. I think Benedict may have been 4.
But I don't think we haven't. There was a moment. There was a brief snippet a couple years ago. Remember when we were talking about Kentucky State with one of the, I think it was two coaches ago, where we were talking about them, and the current coach Felton Huggins took over for the previous coach, who took over for the coach who I think he left and went to the Air Force, if I'm not mistaken. The name escapes me right now. But Huggins had to essentially, I think they took some lumps last year, but he had to essentially rebuild this team. So between that story, Ron Dickerson, between Dickerson and Huggins, neither one won their conference championship, but congratulations, they're still going to the playoffs. But amazing seasons that neither one of those coaches were really talked about at all during the regular season, Drew.
Not only that, but let's think about this, Brian. 2-3 years ago, even as late as this summer, we were wondering if Kentucky State was even going to survive as an institution, Brian, because Kentucky State has had some large challenges financially. Things from, I believe the state of Kentucky has sent auditors or sent their people down to manage the day-to-day finances of Kentucky State. So with all of that going on around your institution, to still be able to field a competitive football team, and not only just a competitive football team, but a championship level football team. I mean, this is amazing, Brian.
It is.
This is freaking amazing.
Now, let's go to the controversy regarding them and Delta State. Because seeing Kentucky State get in with 9 wins, they don't get 9 wins if they don't play that last game against Shorter,
which was all Commissioner Holloman's plan.
Right.
Understanding the formula, understanding what it takes to get into the playoffs. And we have seen it countless number of times, time and time again, where an SIAC team has been sitting 6, 7, or 8 in a position for an at-large and not play week 11, while the other 2 teams play for the SIAC championship or a championship in any other conference.
Right.
The SIAC team sitting at home, not able to get a game. So, Commissioner and here's the thing, Brian, and I need everybody to think back on this. Before he was commissioner, Dr. Anthony Holloman, he was athletic director, Dr. Anthony Holloman. He was the athletic director at Fort Valley State. His last full year at Fort Valley State, under, I believe it was Sean Gibbs at that point. I believe Flowers had already moved on. They were that team who was sitting at number 7 going into the last week and were surpassed the last week by not playing and not being able to find an opponent for week 11. So being able to take the bull by the horn, having it personally happen to his institution, and to put your whole conference in the position to not have that happen to you. And there's no guarantee that this was the final straw, but it was that last chance to impress the RAC committee. Delta State. And let's be real. If Valdosta State does not win against West Florida or North Greenville win against UMC Pembroke, Delta State is probably in. But I think it's just a bit of irony that a team from their own conference ultimately knocked them out of contention when it's all said and done, Brian. So did Kentucky State make the right decision? Yes, they did. Did Dr. Anthony Holloman make the right decision about playing this 3rd or 4th place game? Because I'm gonna be honest, and I need to take my SIAC hat off and put my Morehouse hat on for a moment. There was anxiety among some people in the conference about this game because of the logistics of it, just having to go through everything you have to do to host another game. And let's think about it, Brian. 1, 2, and 3 was pretty much locked up. It was those of us who were fighting for the 4th spot that the anxiety was happening. You had to make contingency plans. Am I hosting this game? Am I not hosting this game? Now, next year, it's gonna be a little bit more challenging because the 2 SIAC teams go on the road. So you're gonna have to make another contingency plan, especially if 2 and 3 are fighting for that second SIAC championship game spot. You're really gonna have to be making hotel reservations in 2 spots. You're gonna have to have 2 bus itineraries going into that last week because you can't wait until Monday to figure this stuff out, Brian. I'm telling you this as an administrator. When Morehouse was in contention for that 4th spot, we was starting to have meetings 2-3 weeks ago, figuring this out. What are we going to do? What are we going to do? What are the scenarios that get us in? If this team win, this team lose, and we do this, what happens? Yes, we had to sit down and have those meetings, Brian. But glad we went through the exercise. I'm glad I did not have to actually exercise the stuff. But once again, kudos, Dr. Holloman. We went from barely getting 1 in, Brian, to getting 3 solids. This conference right here, Brian. This conference right here. Yeah. Pull out the butter, Steve.
I got an interesting comment here by Lawrence. I'm going to bring it up here in a second. But I started talking about the journey for Johnson C. Smith, and it's been 55 years since they were in a CIAA championship game, won a CIAA, I believe, and won a championship game. You know, I mean, we're talking, what year are we talking? 1969. And then I look over, and I didn't know this until I was on the website. Kentucky State, who, by the way, folks, are currently, I think it's now a 8-game winning streak. An 8-game winning streak since they lost to
Albany State.
Since they lost to Albany, Grambling. A game that a game that, by all intents and purposes,
they should have won.
They should have won. All right, so let's just kind of say that. Okay, get that out of the way. But anyway, they went on to win 8 straight. And I'm just kind of reading here. That's the school's. This is the school's longest winning streak since 1976 and 77. And it's the first time since 1934 that the program has won 8 consecutive games in a season. Oh, but wait, there's more. The 9-2 record that they currently have is the best regular season since 1935.
Can I take it one step further? Can I add one more thing in there?
If there's one more thing, go ahead. What else?
They have the longest winning streak in HBCU football.
Yeah, 8 games. Yeah, it is officially the longest. So brings this question up, Drew. We're going to have a tough time determining a lower division champion. We sure are, Lawrence. It'll be interesting
usually comes down to which CIAA or SIAC team has the best record and picks up a win in the playoffs. And that's still going to have a lot to do with it. Now, if our teams win like they should win, and we can get these teams into second round, 2 teams will eliminate themselves because we have potential HBCU on HBCU matchup in round 2. Both of them third games. Now, here's the thing. For Union and Johnson C. Bryan, it's the rubber match. So whoever wins that rubber match has the edge. But what happens if Benedict beats Albany State? But Albany State has won the other 2.
Yeah.
It's 2-1 overall for Albany State, but Benedict won the last one. That's going to be a little bit tougher to figure out, Brian, if we get to that point. And then here's the thing. You still got Kentucky State over there in the other half of Super Region 1.
Exactly.
Which they would not face either Albany State or Benedict until the Super Region 1 championship, should they all make it there.
But how about this? What if Kentucky State gets to the regional final and there's no,
other HBCU around?
Yeah, let's just say there's no HBCU on the other side. I mean, there's a 50% chance that one of them will get there. But, if they don't, what are we talking about? I mean, wow, it's going to be amazing to watch.
And then you still have to compare that to what's happening over there in Super Region 1, Brian.
Yes, exactly.
Thank God the computer will solve this for us, and we got to take this human bias out of it.
Well, yeah, exactly. I don't know what the human voters
I don't know what I'm going to do in the polls I vote in.
Yeah. I don't know. Good luck to you human voters who are out there voting.
What you mean, you human voters? We are some of them human voters. We have to vote for this stuff.
I don't vote in any in Division 2 polls this year. I know you do. I don't.
I vote in what? I voted 3 polls, Ryan. 3 Division 2 polls.
Yeah. Well.
Oh my God.
Yes,
it's going to be interesting. Now, let's hope for this one thing, as Dr. Gavia throws in his. Let's hope for one thing. Nobody goes out here and loses 55-7 next week, because that's going to weigh a lot also on how we're going to make these final votes, Brian.
Yeah, I think definitely we're going to have to look at and analyze the performance of these teams and see how that all factors into the mix, right? It'll be fascinating to watch. All right, so I know the breakdowns will start and the analysis of the 5 games will come. So we'll look at that a little bit later.
We're actually going to talk about what happened in the games now, since we done broke down the results of the game, the final.
Nah, results. I don't think there's anything worth talking about. Nah, there's nothing worth talking about.
You laughing, Brian?
I mean, unless you saw something. I mean, look, I did not, obviously, because I was calling the game, I didn't get a chance to enjoy watching those games. So all I'm able to do is kind of look at the scores and stats. I was able to pop in randomly and watch some of those games, but there's not much that I can add. Now maybe you watched them. If you watched them, if you want to add, go ahead. What can you add? What do you want to say?
If I get a second to pull up the stat sheet from that game, Brian, there was
which one? I got the box score up for one of them. Which one?
Albany State. You have the Albany State box score.
One? The Albany State box score.
Yeah. And I need you to look at the defensive stats if you have that one up.
Albany State Benedict box score. All right, I got it up.
And Albany State's defense.
Individual.
There was one young man. I can't remember his name. I think he was number 27. But this man had an interception. He had a block kick and either a forced fumble or a fumble recovery.
Well, there's a couple guys who had, but you said a block kick. So
yes,
there were only two guys who had they must have given it to somebody else. There's a young man who had a block kick, a tackle for loss, and a sack.
No, this young man had an interception also. Okay, I'm going to let me see if I can find an individual.
No, they for Albany State.
Yes, for Albany State.
They must have credited it to somebody else. Because there were two interceptions, one by Tyrell Gainey. Yep. Actually, no, there was only one interception, so that was the only.
That's what I'm thinking about, Tyrell Gainey.
Okay.
Yeah, he was in on everything, but also
he had a forced fumble as well. He had a forced fumble as well.
Yes, because he's the one who I believe who may have recovered the fumble on the blocked the blocked two-pointer blocked PAT. And Brian, we had everything in that game, Brian. We had a block punt. We had a block 2-point conversion. Obviously, we had our traditional scores. And there was one play, Brian. I'm still upstairs in the booth saying I thought it was a safety. Where Darius Ocean got out the end zone. They spotted the ball on the half-yard line. I thought he got tackled in the end zone.
I may have to go back and watch this one then. I got to go back and I have to find it. It's on ESPN Plus, so
it's on Plus. Yeah. It ran on ESPN U last night.
Okay.
Yeah, but it was of the two games, Brian. This definitely turned to be the opposite of what everyone predicted this game would be. Everybody thought Union and Johnson C was going to be the slugfest. I was watching Union up in the press box while I was there in Albany, Georgia. That game was pretty much Johnson C pretty much had control of that game from the beginning.
Yeah.
A couple other things in this game, Brian. How about Isaiah Knowles? 13-21, 182 yards.
Yep.
Rushed the ball 9 times. Only had 2 net rushing yards due to the sacks, but he did have a rushing touchdown. Tiant Weiss, 16 carries, 75 yards. Corey Petty, receiver, 3 big-time catches, including one of 60 yards for a total of 71 yards. Jamil Williams, 3 receptions for 50 yards. Yes, Tyrell Gainey was the one I'm thinking about. He returned the ball 90 yards for 2 points.
Nice.
Yes.
Nice return.
Nice return. And just to show fair love, Brian, when you go to the Virginia Union Johnson C. Smith, and I know I'm supposed to say this, has there ever been a time where you've heard of somebody rushing the ball 25 times for 183 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 catch for 28 yards, and we're talking about a disappointing performance?
You must be talking about Curtis Allen.
Yes, but he has set such a high standard, Brian, that on a great day for everybody else and a pedestrian day for him, we're disappointed, Brian.
Well, are you disappointed at the results of the team versus the individual? Because it is a team game.
But that's the question, Brian.
Yeah.
But he got a lot of those yards, chunk yards in the fourth quarter when Union was expected them to pass, and they were still rushing the ball because he's a playmaker. That's what he does. I handed the ball off to Curtis Allen. It's like throwing a 40-yard bomb.
Are you accusing them of stat padding, Drew? Is that what I'm hearing?
No, I'm not accusing them of stat padding. They got the ball to their playmaker.
I got you.
Their playmaker just happens to be a running back who, at any point in time, can break it for 60 yards. And he had a couple long runs in there, Brian.
Let me ask this question. I see it from our good friend Sneaker Shop Talk. And he asked the question, does Albany State's offense in the second half concern you? And I'm going to go even further. What concerns you about any of these teams? Like, everybody has an Achilles heel. I don't think anybody is perfect, or maybe you might think somebody is. What is the Achilles heel of each of these teams, or maybe the thing that concerns you regarding each of these teams? If you could touch on that.
Albany State doesn't necessarily concern me because Coach Quinn Gray does a good job of hitting you with what you are not expecting. You're up playing run, he's gonna hit the tight end. You got 8 men on the box, he's gonna toss the ball to the outside. Albany State's offense does not concern me. It does concern me sometimes that Isaiah Knowles may take a bit of a chance, but if Isaiah Knowles takes care of the ball, Albany State is a tough team to beat, especially when they have the number 1 defense in the SIAC. Yes, as much as we talk about Benedict, Brian, Albany State has the number 1 defense in the SIAC. Right.
Yes.
What concerns me about Benedict can't pass the ball worth a crap. They got their first score off of a blocked punt. Once again, a special teams touchdown put them in the ball game, Brian. Benedict is going to do what they have to do defensively. Benedict did turn the ball, I believe they turned the ball over 2 times, Brian. Benedict, especially with the offense being the concern that it is, they of any team cannot afford a turnover. Yes, I agree with you, Jamie, on that. Albany State starting slow would be my concern. And the other thing that I would say would be a concern, not only that slow start by Albany State, but sometimes Coach Gray has a little bit of that Billy Joe in him still, Brian.
Yeah.
And you know what I'm talking about when I say this,
yeah.
having watched Billy Joe. Yes. Sometimes they will do things that are not on anybody's card as far as when they go for it and where they go for it from. And but you can't take, but if you're Coach Quinn, you can't take that away from you if that's your style. Don't get passive in the playoffs and change your play calling style because you're scared to do what's gotten you there. That's the thing. When it works, he looks like the greatest American hero. When it doesn't work, he looks like the greatest GOAT in the world.
It's funny you say that because I watched some pro football games today, and I could not understand why everybody is so averse to field goals. And I'm watching teams go for go for it on 4th and 1, and it's a tie ball game. Nobody kicks field goals anymore. No, I mean, it's like we're, so the book or whatever it is that people have that has them going for it instead of kicking field goal, it baffles me, Drew. It baffles the heck out of me. So yeah, that would be, I would be nervous. Yeah, Jamie, we're a radio show now. That's what happens when Wi-Fi and hard lines don't want to cooperate in our remote location. We can't all be in the same location sitting on a couch. But
in the HBCU game day studios.
Yeah, or in a studio. I mean, look, we have studios. The BCSN, we have studios. We just not there. We can't be there right now. That's on me.
I can. That's on you, Brian.
Yeah, that's what I said. It's on me. It's on me.
Now, you asked me about some of the
other teams. Look at the other teams. Okay, especially over in the CIAA.
Let's finish off the SIAC.
Oh, okay.
Honestly, right now, the team that's playing the best ball in the SIAC, in my opinion, is Kentucky State.
Yes, without a doubt, hands down.
I'm gonna be honest with you. Albany State did not want to see Kentucky State in their championship game. And if those two teams were to match up, the only reason I would lean towards Albany State is because it would be in Albany, Georgia. And Albany did go on the road to beat Kentucky State earlier this year. But if that game was to happen in a neutral site, I might slightly lean to Kentucky State. And when I say slightly, I'm talking about 51-49, Brian.
Well, Albany State, we get to host all the way.
That's what I said. That's the reason why I am leaning towards Kentucky State. I mean, towards Albany State, if that matchup were to happen in the SR2 championship game. But I think Kentucky State right now is playing the best ball. Now Isaiah knows 3 weeks off of that injury, he's getting healthier every day. But he's one shot away from re-injuring those ribs, Brian.
That's what the injury was?
Yes, it was a rib injury.
Oof. Well, yeah. Hopefully that's a heck of a flat, what do you call it? Flak jacket that he has on?
Yeah.
Flak jacket?
Yes. But our flat jackets sometimes can hurt quarterback's mobility and their range of motion. Now, moving over to the CIAA, Brian, you've got two teams. Johnson C probably might be a little bit better defensively. Johnson C probably played their best ball game of the year this past Saturday, Brian. Hands down. They had the most complete game plan. And if you're Virginia Union, what you did last game worked, and they didn't change too much. And Kentucky State Johnson C was everywhere Union wanted to be. So Union, they have to hold on to the ball. Everybody is keying on Curtis Allen. Mm-hmm. If you're Union, you still got to get Curtis Allen his touches. You may have to, in these playoffs, you may be looking at dumping the ball off to Curtis Allen in space versus handing him the ball 6 yards behind the line and having him make that cut. I love Curtis Allen. Curtis Allen lets his blockers set up the block, and then he explodes and hit the hole. He has probably the greatest first step that I have seen at their running back position in a long time. Even better than Jada Byers, and I never thought I would say that after what I saw last year, Brian. But he has that first explosive step. If Curtis Allen gets to that second level, he's a tough tackle. If he gets to that third level, you're going to be looking at the back of his jersey. It's just that simple. Johnson C. Smith continue to create turnovers and take care of the ball. They've got one of the best quarterbacks out there, Brian. So
let me ask this. This is a thought. Johnson
Kelvin Durham.
Smith, right?
Kelvin Durham threw for 5 touchdowns Saturday, Brian, in a championship game, Brian. Who does that? Who throws for 5 touchdowns in a championship game, Brian? I'm sorry. Go ahead. We lost you there. Jamie says, running game travels. My worry is RJ Rosales. And that's the thing. If you make Union one-dimensional, Jamie, and find a way to take Curtis Allen away and put it in the hands of Rosales, you've got a chance against the Panthers there of Virginia Union. While we're talking about Virginia Union, a couple of people I want to. We hear you now, Brian.
Okay,
I got you now.
Okay.
One other person I want to bring out is Ahmad Ross of Johnson C. Had 8 tackles and 1.5 tackles for loss, and Jaden Early, who had an INT and a 42-yard run on that INT, Brian.
Regarding them.
Repeat that, Brian. We lost you.
Damn. My quick thought about Johnson.
We heard that.
I know. I worry about the building blocks, and are they ready for this step? This season was all about finishing what you didn't do last season, right? And they did that. They had a perfect season last year. It fell apart in the last 2 weeks of the season. This year was all about finishing. Well, you accomplished. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I'm paying attention to every episode of Brick by Brick, which is, a great documentary series that HBCU Game Day is doing with Johnson C. Smith, right? But it would seem to me that your messaging all year was finish, get to the CIAA championship, win the damn thing. You did that. Everything at this point is gravy. It feels like almost like what happened to Benedict a couple years ago, where everything was built up on doing something that had never been done before. And then when you got there, you realized that, we may not be quite ready for this. I wonder if Johnson C. Smith is ready for this moment.
I would say that would be my concern, Brian, except for the fact of what they went through last year when they were 2 games away and laid that egg. They know that they cannot rest on the laurels, Brian. So I think were it not for last year, I would ask that question that you just asked, Brian. But because of last year, I think they know they cannot take their foot off the gas. They cannot relax. They must concentrate. They must finish what their mission is. And if they're going to go down, they are going to go down fighting, Brian. Even when you go back to that game that they lost to Union, they did not. What was that, a 1-score game, if I remember right, Brian? It was a very competitive ball game. It's not like they got blown out by Union the first time.
I mean, it was 28-10, but
okay. I stand corrected on the 1 score. But
I think
what was the big difference in that game? They didn't turn the ball over the second time.
Let me go back and look at the box score, because
if I remember right,
I had it open and I went away from it. Let me see if I can pull it up here quickly. Wait a minute, CIAA. Hold on, let me find it. Go ahead, keep going while I'm sitting here trying to find it.
If I remember off the top of my head, they turned the ball over a lot in that first game. And Curtis Allen went off also in that first game.
Well, it hadn't been too many games when Curtis Allen hadn't gone off.
That is true, Brian. Even when he don't go off, he goes off.
All right. I think I got it here. I pulled it up here. Good stuff. Johnson C. Smith, man. What an amazing story. Still, I mean, just outstanding stories every year right now. It's we're seeing them all over the place. That game played back on September 20th in Richmond, Virginia, which was won by, well, Virginia Union had a steady diet of points in every quarter, 7 in every quarter. Johnson C., the score was at the half 14-10. They had scored a touchdown with 11 seconds left in the second quarter to cut the deficit to 14-10.
How many turnovers did they have in that game, Brian?
Turnovers. Let me find them here. There were none. No, Johnson C., no turnovers in that game. Let me see. Where was the key factor in that game taking people back? Third down, they were 4 of 12 on third down.
Respectable.
Scoring opportunities, 2
Red
of
zone.
3. Red zone, Virginia Union was 4 of 4. So, you know, it in terms of total plays, Johnson C. actually ran more plays, 64 plays to Union's 50 plays, but the amount of yardage per play advantaged Virginia Union.
Gotcha.
So let me go back. I want to add one other question here. Okay, so
can I respond to this before you add your question?
Well, this one was before that, but go ahead.
Okay.
This will be a last setup question then. So go ahead and ask this question.
Edwin asked, run that by me again. Even when he doesn't go off, he goes off. Kind of goes back to what I said about Curtis Allen earlier, and that's what I was talking about there, Edwin. Curtis Allen, in this loss, ran the ball 25 times for 183 yards. Anybody else, that's going off. That's a career game. For Curtis Allen, that is not a career game. But when you really look at it, I mean, 183 yards. How many running backs get 183 yards? Hell, we got people who don't have 183 yards in the season now, Edwin. And this man did it in the game, and we're disappointed. That's what I mean. Even when he doesn't go off, he goes off. So he didn't get 250 in this game. He didn't get 225 in this game. But damn, 183, I'll take that any day of the week for my running back, Edwin. I'm sorry.
No, that's all right. Okay, so here's a good one we can put some odds on. Which HBCU has the best chance to reach the Division II championship?
Too early. Too early for me. You got to get back with me on Tuesday when I break down these brackets and look at this. But if you were to put it out there, it's about a 1% chance that one of these HBCUs get there.
Well, there you go. Wow.
Because if the talent don't get us, something gonna get us. I mean, hell, has anybody gotten there besides Winston-Salem State?
Nope. How about the last time, last regional final team was that also Winston-Salem State?
The last, what was that, Brian?
Regional finals, regional championship.
Well, to win it, yes, because
Union
got that last year, Brian, against Valdosta State. And then,
yes, you're right.
Then prior to that, I believe it was Bowie State got to the regional championships, ironically, against Valdosta State.
Yeah. Valdosta State, the HBCU killer.
Yeah. I might be missing one in between, but those are the two. I know last year, definitely. There may be one between Union and Bowie State. And then prior to Bowie State, I believe was Tuskegee I think Bowie State may have been 19. I want to say 19 when Bowie State got there. And then prior to Bowie State getting there, it was Tuskegee in like 16, I believe it was. And then you go back to those Connell Manor teams of like 13, 14, 12, 13, somewhere up in there with Winston-Salem State. So we've had some teams that have gotten to the regional finals, Brian. But at least this quarter century, I believe Winston-Salem may be the only one who's actually overcome that hurdle of the regional championship.
All right. So I think there's two interesting plays. As Chip says, Kentucky State would be the team that has the best chance to reach the D2 championships. I think there's two plays here. One, who will advance the furthest.
I like that one.
Because that opens the door. Obviously, the odds of all 5 teams winning, not great. I mean, and probably predictively, I'm just guessing here, it'll probably be 2 to 3, 2 to advance.
Pass out of the first round.
Yeah. If I go and look at the odds and the predictive odds via some site like Massey or something like that, they'll probably predict maybe 2. Wouldn't be surprised if I only saw 1. And so that's where you get to. Playoff experience is another thing that I think is interesting in this, Drew, because there's only one program that truly has playoff experience right now.
Thank you, Travis. I knew I was off a year. I said 2016. It was 2015. And that one team is Union, Brian.
Right.
Actually, no. Incorrect, Brian. Benedict has playoff experience. Different head coach.
But we got to ask the question, how many of these players on this roster were part of the team from 2 seasons ago?
That's
2 or question. 3 seasons ago,
Good question.
So...
Boy, Slide, me, you, Jamie, Steve, Chris Ferguson, and a few of us, we got to get together this week and really break this stuff down because there's a lot going on, fellas. And I'll put it out here on wax. I'm down for a show to all my D2 pundits out there. Jamie Walker, Slide the Sports Guy, Stephen J. Ferguson. Excuse me. Chris Ferguson, Stephen J. Gaither. I'm down.
You said Steve.
I just combined them together. They CIAA. I just put them all together.
They do a show together, so it's like I'm just gonna merge y'all 2 together.
Hey, let's do it, fellas. Let's do it. Thank you, Sly.
Yeah. Okay. So 15. That's not a significant number. I don't think that's a significant. Probably no starters at that point. Starters.
Oh, no, the starters all left with Chinnis.
Yeah, those starters are all gone. So, I mean, we're talking about kids who were freshmen, probably.
they might have been red shirts.
Yeah. So Union has the most experience. So, yeah, tough to, I would say Union has the best shot of advancing. And I would go Albany State because I think they have the coaching. But I'd be curious to see what Kentucky State's matchup looks like. I think that team that has to play Kentucky State is maybe walking into that. There was a time back in the day, I'll never forget, when the NCAA sent FAMU to go play Appalachian State. You remember that game?
I do remember that.
And the coach from Appalachian State was like, that team was not I don't even know what seed FAMU was.
Right.
But he said that team was not a low-seeded team. You know who was a player on that roster, if I'm not mistaken, back then?
Was that Quinn Gray on that roster?
Gray.
Was he
Quinn
quarterback?
Gray. I think Quinn Gray.
Because we went through quarterbacks. one quarterback get hurt and the next one came in was better than the one that got hurt back during those days.
Yeah. We kept QBs on roster. Yeah. All right. Newberry's tough. Okay. Well, that's what yeah. Well, I mean, practically everybody is 9 wins. The only team doesn't have 9 wins is the team that I wish you could see. You didn't keep that roster. You kept that bracket up.
That was a live feed. So
that was a live feed.
Let me see if they posted the bracket online yet.
All right. Let's take a break. I want to transition and
they have, Brian.
They have. Okay, so let's pull it up and we show it on the other side of the break, and then we got to get into talking about the D1 stuff too. Some interesting storylines and some things happening over there that the picture is getting a little bit clearer going into this upcoming week. So we got to talk about all that. So on the other side, we'll be back in a moment. You're watching the BCSN Sports Wrap right here on the Black College Sports Network. A.D. Drew, Brian Fulford. Audio only again. We'll be back after these words.
You're looking for the latest information on Southern University sports, the Southwestern Athletic Conference, and HBCU athletics. There's only one place to go. Tune in to the Carlos Brown Show, exclusively on the Black College Sports Network.
Planning an event? From weddings to corporate functions, CMJ Events LLC brings over 15 years of experience to make your vision a reality. Based in Metro Atlanta and serving statewide, even internationally, we provide versatile event planning and authentic catering cuisines tailored to your needs. Whether it's pre-game meals for student athletes, fundraisers, weddings, corporate functions, CMJ Events LLC is your one-stop solution for exceptional service and unforgettable food. Our diverse culinary heritage means we cater to all cultural taste, dietary needs, and food restrictions, making every meal uniquely yours. Let's make your next event unforgettable. Visit us on all social media at CMJ Events LLC or email us at cmjeventsllc@gmail.com. Also give us a call at 404-664-3882 so that we can start planning now.
College football fans, a champion will rise in Atlanta on December 13th. MEAC Champion, SWAC Champion, the 10th Cricket Celebration Bowl, crowning an HBCU National Champion. For event and ticket information, visit thecelebrationbowl.com.
Since 2002, Empowerment Resources, Inc., a nonprofit organization, has empowered more than 1,500 youth and adults in Duval and surrounding counties. Through its programs, Journey into Womanhood, Girls Mentoring, Life Skills for Teens, and parenting education coaching. To get involved with programs, volunteer, or donate, visit www.empowermentresourcesinc.org. Follow us on social media, facebook.com/empowerment.resources and instagram.com/empowermentjax.
For over 30 years, HBCU Image has been more than just an apparel store. We've been a movement, a statement, a legacy. We celebrate the pride, the purpose, and the culture that make historically black colleges and universities legendary. HBCU Image, a Kenny T's company.
ESPN Events presents Red Lobster Band of the Year. Returning to Atlanta on December 12th, 4 bands will qualify for the big stage, where 2 national champions will be crowned. Follow us for rankings updates throughout the season, and join us on December 12th. For event and ticket information, visit Band of the Year.
All right, welcome back to the BCSN Sports Wrap. Brian and A.D. here. Oh, this ugly bracket. Yeah, let's try to zoom in and see if we can get a better picture than that. The Division II NCAA football pairings have been announced. 5 HBCU schools have made it into the tournament. 2 schools in Super Region 1. And 3 schools in Super Region 2. All right, so the bracket that we're looking at right now is from Super Region
1.
And if you look there, 8 teams in the bracket, bottom half of the bracket there, you see Johnson C. Smith as a 2 seed. Taking on Frostburg State. And then Virginia Union as a 3 seed taking on California of Pennsylvania. All right. And then as Drew moves up to Super Region 1, Albany State, the number 1 overall seed in Super Region 2, gets to take on Valdosta State, who won their conference, and probably that was the only way they were getting in. Of course, Valdosta State went to the championship game last year under they went to the championship game last year under current Prairie View A&M head coach Tremaine Jackson. And Valdosta State is just one of those programs that continues to reload. And so look at them. Who knows? Trying to play spoiler once again. Benedict is an at-large on that half of the bracket. They will travel to Wingate. Where's Wingate again, Drew?
Wingate, North Carolina.
Wingate's
in South Carolina.
I thought it was
Wingate's in South Carolina.
Yeah, okay. So it's an in-state trip for Benedict. And then down at the bottom, taking on the 3 seed Newberry, also from South Carolina.
Yes.
Will be Kentucky State, having their historic season, currently on an 8-game winning streak, longest streak since the 70s, 76, 77, currently on a 9-2 season record, which is the best since 1934 or 1935, somewhere like that, before my daddy was even born. So it was like, damn. Talking about historic stuff happening right now for the HBCUs. So
yes, it is. Yes, it is. What I like about this, Brian, is, and I like how they do this on the Division II level. They try to go with some geographical matchups, especially in the first round. Albany State and Valdosta State are very familiar with each other. They didn't play this year, but I believe these 2 teams played last year, and probably maybe like 3 of the last 4 years. Valdosta State, and they do a good job of this, they either play Albany State or Fort Valley State every year on their schedule. So Valdosta State, and they will come to the HBCU. That's the other thing, Brian.
Well, they played Johnson C. Don't forget, they played Johnson C. Smith this season. Right.
Valdosta State always has at least one HBCU on their schedule, and usually they try to match up with one of their 2 in-state HBCU state schools, that being Albany State or Valdosta State. So Valdosta State played Clark Atlanta also earlier this year, Brian, in Birmingham, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I think it was a scheduling thing is the reason why Valdosta ended up having to play so many HBCUs. I mean, I'm just
this year, because they've only got four teams in their conference, Brian. They had right. Plenty of space available. But even still, when the Gulf South had 8-9 teams, they would still regularly play either Albany State or Fort Valley State. These teams are about an hour 30, hour 45 minutes apart. I expect very good attendance at this game in round 1. Also, Benedict, Wingate, once again, another geographical game. I expect Tiger Nation to travel to Wingate to support their Tigers. So,
third of the last 4 years, Benedict has been in the playoffs.
If anybody knows how to do this, is the Benedict fans. They know how to follow their team come this time of the year.
Right. Albany State, Valdosta State played the season opener last year. Valdosta State won 42-10 last year.
Yeah.
So, but different coach, different quarterbacks. A lot was different for both teams.
Once again, last look at Super Region 1. You know, Brian, there was a few other things going on around football this weekend also.
Oh, you want to talk about those other things that happened?
I mean, start with Friday night, Brian.
Man,
I don't know where you were Friday night, but I was good. I
was at a bar watching the game.
I'm gonna make a confession, Brian.
In Huntsville.
I forgot that there was a 5:30 start, Brian.
I tried to, you know what? I tried to tweet it out. I tried to post it and let people know. I think a lot of people might have forgot.
Yeah.
It was a good crowd, though. It looked like there was a good crowd in attendance. So, fortunately for the people at North Carolina Central, they didn't forget.
Yeah, they did. They did not forget. They did not forget the result of that game either, Brian. As man, what a ball game, Brian. Brian, this year alone, have we not had some of the greatest HBCU football games that you've ever seen, Brian? And these games have been on linear TV. These matchups, you know, sometimes when they pick these games for linear, sometimes they don't live up to the hype. The games that have been on linear this year have actually lived up to the hype, in my opinion, Brian.
Yeah, I mean, I look, I think honestly, Drew, is the outlier. I mean, it's funny you mentioned that because I was just thinking to myself, and I'm looking at this from the prism of our Pick 5 contest, right? and the reason I'm saying that is because for another umpteenth week in a row, lots of people are going 5-0. So, I mean, there's either that many bad teams that people are able to spotlight, or the matchups are just not that compelling when they actually get played. Or it's like people are avoiding I don't think anybody picked the South Carolina State North Carolina Central game. I'm gonna admit and tell you I didn't.
I wouldn't pick it either.
Yeah, because the contest is the ultimate goal of the contest is to win the contest.
So you pick the dog games.
Yeah, you're looking for the easy wins. Now, this is why I said I wanted to create a HBCU Survivor contest, Drew. This is why I wanted to do that. Maybe I'll have to. I couldn't find a platform to do it, but I'm gonna have to do it for next year, an HBCU Survivor contest. And I'm curious to see how it would work out for people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I got you. Let's get back to this game, though, Brian.
Yeah.
South Carolina State jumped out 17-3.
Jeez.
Then they fall behind 27-20, and then storm back with a dominant fourth quarter, Brian. I mean,
hold on. Go back for a second. Start with
how they got
to 17-3, Drew.
I'm supposed to get into it.
That part in itself was pretty fascinating.
South Carolina State, they score on the field goal from Nico Cavaliers and charge it to my head, not my heart. 50-yard field goal, Brian. We don't see that too often in HBCU sports. All right.
No,
that was a 6-minute 34-second yard drive. Then Central tied it on a Caleb Robinson field goal. Then South Carolina State on a 9-play, 75-yard drive, go up 10-3 from DeAndre Ruffins with 10 seconds remaining in the first quarter on a 28-yard catch from the quarterback. Then, Brian, and we talking about the balls that Quinn Gray have. Chennis Berry got a set of kahunas too, Brian, because he goes for a onside kick after just going up 10-3, and then you score on a 1-play 51-yard drive, Brian.
Yeah, genius move.
Yes.
Onside kick, recovers, and then scores.
Right. Then Central
So at that point, hold on, let me stop at that point, because at that point, as I'm sitting there watching, I'm sitting there having dinner there with the FAMU legend, Albert Chester, and I'm like, wow, I'm saying the same thing you just said about South Carolina State. That this guy, Chennis Berry, unbeaten in conference play for 3 seasons. This is how you come out and punch a team in the mouth.
29 consecutive games, Ryan.
Yeah, right. But Central was not to be outdone, because not only Central would come out in the second quarter and own the second quarter. That was telling.
Yeah.
That's how you knew we were in store for an instant classic.
Yeah. South Carolina State wins the first quarter. North Carolina Central wins the second quarter. Hey, how they do it like this, Brian? This is what we was at. Keep going, Brian.
Wait a minute. I lost you there. My signal dropped for a second. Say again.
I said South Carolina State won the first quarter. North Carolina Central won the second quarter. And guess how the kids do it? This is what we was having. One of them days, Brian. A 6-7 day.
Yeah. Fortunately, no score wasn't a 6-7 score. 17-0. 17-0 Central in the second quarter after South Carolina State outscored them 17-3. I thought we were going to have a shootout, Drew, to be honest. I really thought, okay, at this point, we're going to have a shootout. I'm telling people, go take the over. Take the over. Whatever it is, go find it and take the over, because we're about to get some points. Kind of dried up there in the third quarter.
Yeah. Definitely dried up there in the third quarter. But, Brian, I love that fourth quarter, though.
Yeah. South Carolina State got a 28-yard field goal in the third quarter. In their opening possession, North Carolina Central answered with a touchdown pass from Walker Harris to Mekhi Wall for 35 yards, and Central is now up 27-20. Okay, so again, their lead had gone from. They had gone from being down 14 at the end of the first quarter to now they're up 7 going into the fourth quarter.
Yes.
Oh, but wait, there's more. In the fourth quarter, South Carolina State ended up going on a 13-play, 80-yard drive from the end of the third quarter into the fourth quarter, ties the game up on a 24-yard pass from Jordan Smith. From William Atkins to Jordan Smith. And then the fourth quarter, Drew, I don't even know how to describe the fourth quarter. I'm just going to kind of, because it's a little foggy for me, but so I'm just going to read from the release. The Bulldog defense forced consecutive punts by North Carolina Central, and then they took over with 5:07 remaining, and on the ground, if I'm not mistaken, South Carolina State had an opportunity to take the lead with the score tied up at 27-27. But if I'm not mistaken, it wasn't a fumble, but they went for it on a 4th and 1. I got to pull up the full box score and the drive summary here. As I look at the fourth quarter drive chart. I'm trying to find it here, Drew. Help me out here.
Which quarter you in?
So we're in the fourth quarter here. Fourth quarter, South Carolina State went 10 plays, 79 yards, all the way to the North Carolina Central 1-yard line.
Yes, and that was exactly what I was going to talk about. The play of the game, Brian.
Go ahead.
Jakari Martin II. Is that the player you're talking about, Brian?
I don't know who made it. I'm just telling you.
I'm telling you, I just named him. Jakari
All right.
Martin II. When William Atkins thought he was walking into the end zone. Is this the play we're talking about, Brian?
Possibly.
And it was a 3rd and 1, or third and inches actually, from the third and goal from like the 1 yard line. And out of nowhere, Martin, who does not give up on the play, Brian, just lays Atkins and prevents him from scoring, Brian. If he would have been blocking for somebody, that would have been called a blindside block. But because he had a ball, Brian, that was a very legal play, Brian. Is that the play we're talking about?
Might be.
Yeah. It was one of the ones where when they say hit him in the ear, he hit him in the ear. I guarantee you there was a snot bubble that came up on that hit. And it saved a touchdown. And that's what you thought North Carolina Central was going to steal the momentum, Brian, after making that stop. And then not only that was 3rd down, Brian, but then they're able to stop them on the next play on 4th down when Josh Shaw was not able to get in, Brian.
So again, I go back to my statement about why no one wants to kick a field goal, Drew. It's a tie ball game. Kick the field goal. Take points. Get something out of it. Hey, look. Hindsight is 20/20. You ended up winning South Carolina State, but man, can you imagine if you would have lost by a field goal? How bad would you feel about? So I can't understand when it's a tie ball game why we're going for it.
Except one thing, Brian.
Huh?
There's one thing that allows you to do that. You have that much confidence in your defense that if this does not work, the boys on the other side of the ball got my back.
I guess, Drew. I think there's a certain level. There's a certain, you know what? And hey, that's why I'm here, and that's why Chinnisberry is on that sideline doing what he does, because it takes a certain level of, I don't know if you want to call it crazy confidence, arrogance, whatever it is, kahunas, whatever it is that makes you have that belief. Prayer, whatever it is, Drew. It's a God. It's an awesome thing. It's an awesome thing, man. It's an awesome thing, and that's why Chinnisberry is who he is, and that's why South Carolina State is in a great place with him leading that team. They do force, so North Carolina Central takes over on their 1 yard line. The South Carolina State defense forces them to punt. They go 3 and out, force them to punt. And they start at midfield. And they start at midfield with 5:07 to play in the 4th quarter. 6 plays, 52 yards, touchdown, North Carolina Central. And they take the lead with 1:51 left to play. And then they come back and they do it one more time as, Central start all the way back on their 8 yard line. They're only able to matriculate the ball out to the 49, and they end up turning the ball over on downs on a 4th down with 7 seconds to play. And South Carolina State gets a great defensive stop there at the end. They take a knee, and ball game. That's all she wrote, baby. That's all she wrote. So a classic game, instant classic. North Carolina Central with 2 losses is officially out of the running. Donezo. What it means for South Carolina State, they have a 1-game shot at winning the MEAC title back-to-back seasons, regardless of what Del State does on Saturday against Howard. And obviously you can see the score there if you're watching. Delaware State took care of their business, ended up winning 26-13 over Howard. I was just looking here at the quick recap to see if there's anything. Delaware State with a 205-yard performance on the ground, 2 rushing touchdowns. That's what they do. They rely on the run. I think we all knew Howard would be a bit overmatched. There's a stat. 1-5 against South Carolina State. It would be Dave to come up with. That's a great stat. Everybody's got their kryptonite. Everybody's got their kryptonite. So Delaware State took care of business, Drew, and now it sets up a basically,
winner take all.
Huh?
Winner take all.
A MEAC championship game. John Grant could actually get on the plane and go to was it Dover, Delaware?
Yes.
At Alumni Stadium. Yes. And he'll be handing that MEAC trophy off to somebody, or the Celebration Bowl invite rather, to somebody. As South Carolina State, the defending champs, takes on Delaware State, who has had a great season. But, Drew, I was wondering going into this contest, I said, I don't know who South Carolina State is. But after seeing that game, Drew, I have a little more confidence in South Carolina State. And I think maybe I just have confidence because of who their coach is. Deshaun Jackson, this is the biggest game in his coaching career to date.
Brian, you act like he's had a long career.
That's what I'm saying, Drew. Delaware State is 8-3. I think I saw, what was the numbers? Last week was the first guaranteed winning season. 8 wins is the first time since when for Delaware State? Anybody know? Probably been a minute.
Probably since when they won. I think they won back in like 11 or somewhere up in there.
Yeah. So this is a game where you get the alumni, like the football alumni. They make the trip home. You have to pack out Alumni Stadium. I think this past week there were only 2,771 people in attendance. Now, I don't know if you can do a quick Google search. I don't know how big Dover Alumni Stadium is, but I need 10, 15,000 there somehow, some way. This is the matchup. Game of the year. Let's see. Let's take a look at when the game. And this game, 1:00. So it's a daytime game. That's good. And it'll be on ESPN Plus. So there you go. I wonder if they'd move it to the end of later in the day. You think they would do that? Probably.
If they were going to flex that game, it would have been announced by now.
All right. Dave said Alumni Stadium holds 7,500. Well, I need 7,500. Hell, be like Norfolk State and make it accessible to 40,000 people. Give everybody a ticket.
Brian. Stop it, Brian.
Okay. All right.
Stop it.
All right.
Let's move on to the next game.
All right. Moving off of that. So that's what the MEAC is looking like. We do know we got scores from the SWAC, and we can say that there is a champion out of the West. And there we go. Right there. Hold on. Let me see if my video works. People were asking, Drew, they were saying, B, why did you lose a bet? No, I just thought I'd represent a shirt of a winner,
Big Mike and Dr. Cavill will be proud of you, Brian.
Yeah. Shout out to my BCSN brothers. And shout out to Coach Jackson, who's been on our show before. So, he's a friend of the show, friend of the program. So, yeah. All right. Gotta give him a shout out. But, yeah, they took care of business, man. They took care of business. That's the AD. His name escapes me right now, but that's the AD of Prairie View. Coach Jackson with his coaching staff. And then, representative of the SWAC. Not sure if that's Coach Jackson's wife. Or
no, that's the associate commissioner to the right.
Well, in the purple. I was speaking of in the purple.
I thought, all right.
Yeah, I know that the associate commissioner. I know who she is, but I'm saying.
Yeah.
But anyway. So they took care of business, 56-9, big time beating. And it's pretty much it's a wrap for them. I thought what was interesting is I look at these scores. We didn't know how many or who from Grambling would not be there for the game against Alcorn. We knew 18 players would not be. I don't know if it had any kind of effect. So Alcorn did get the 27-16 win. Two teams that were coming in on winning streaks. Grambling had a 4-game win streak. Alcorn had a 3-game. Alcorn now has a 4-game winning streak. Unbelievable. The second half of the season that Alcorn. Interesting debate here, Drew. Who's having a better run right now during the month of October? Alcorn State, who's won 4 in a row, or FAMU, who's won 4 of the last 5? Interesting. Just to given where both teams were.
I'm going with Alcorn State, particularly because FAMU has beating the, for lack of a better word, the dog schools of the SWAC. Alcorn, even though it was a depleted Grambling, it's still a victory over Grambling, Brian. So I would say slightly Grambling over Alcorn. The thing is, Brian, at the start of October, both these coaches, in the eyes of HBCU people, were on the hot seat. Have both these coaches done enough to
really in their second year? Wait a minute, in their second year, you're saying they were on? We had this conversation. Wait a minute, are you talking about preseason? They were on the hot seat, or
no?
When we had that conversation mid-season.
In October,
oh, yes.
their fan bases were on the ledge.
Yes, I remember we had the conversation about the second-year coaches and where people were. Yes, you're right. And
they were
Grambling turned their season around. Alcorn has turned their season around.
And has FAMU.
They're at 500. Who else was a second-year coach we were wondering about?
Texas Southern.
Texas Southern. Look at them. Getting away. They were down 24. They were down at least 14 points in the first half against Southern. And they ended up getting a 35-30 win. I think I heard it. Texas Southern's first win since 2013. I think I heard Charles say this.
Yes, it's forever ago.
Yeah, a decade. It's been a decade since Texas Southern got a win at Southern. I mean, everybody gets a win at Southern now. I mean, again, the hardest schedule in SWAC football continues, and it doesn't get any easier because we'll all be looking we'll be scouring through the record books for the last time Southern was winless in conference play, because it's coming. It's coming.
We've already found out when the last time they were winless at home.
Yes, exactly.
Which I think goes back to the 50s.
Yes, but when you lose 1940, thank you, Edwin says 1940, last time, whew, Jesus. But season saved if they take care of Grambling. But I saw, so the question was, did anyone verify the Grambling players? What I do know.
Can I answer that?
Well, let me just say, the one thing that I did hear was that Grambling, those players did not travel or were not traveling.
Right.
So,
and I will say this, there is a person in the press box who is responsible to record every number that goes out there on that field. It's called participation. And if you go to the live, not the live stats, the actual stats, the box score on any stat sheet, you can see the participation, who played and who did not play. Now, if you make a play in the game, you get a tackle or a penalty or whatever, you're automatically counted in the participation. The one thing that the person has to manually input are those people on special teams who a lot of times do not make plays, make recordable plays. Let me say it like that. They do not get stats.
Right. So it's out there.
Yes.
So it can be done.
Verified.
Yeah, I don't think, look, we would have heard if it was somebody significant. It is sounding like maybe it wasn't anybody significant, but who knows? It could have been their depth. I wasn't going to do the digging because it's not my school. I had other things I had to deal with. Edwin said he expected you to do it.
I didn't do it, but I could. I'm telling you where you can find it at.
Yeah, you could do it if you just want to do it.
I'm just helping you through the process, Edwin. I'm telling you which section of the library to go grab the book out of.
There you go. Dewey Decimal Numbers, and then go look at go get the card, open up the drawer, and there you go.
I guarantee you, half these people on the podcast don't even know what a Dewey Decimal is.
Stop it. Jackson State gets a 28-13 win over Bethune-Cookman. It was a close ball game for a minute. Bethune, who was missing 9 players, they gave Jackson State a good fight. Unfortunately for them, they couldn't get it done. So now Bethune-Cookman has lost 2 games in a row, pretty much knocked themselves out of any possibility. And now it comes down to 1 game, 1 week. As you see, Alabama State got the easy win over Valley. And it's all set up. Let me see. So Alabama State, they're done.
No, they have Pine Bluff.
Okay, that's a win.
And Jackson State has Alcorn.
Ooh. Drew.
Brian,
what are the
good
odds?
things? The good thing is the nerds have started their Christmas vacation.
What do you mean by that? What do you mean by that?
We don't have to figure out all the tiebreaker stuff. Everything is pretty much cut and dry this weekend. We thought we were going to have chaos. We thought we were going to have some MEAC stuff going on this weekend. Everything is cut and dry. In the MEAC, it's simple. The winner of Delaware State, South Carolina State, I'll see you in Atlanta.
Yep.
SWAC West, done. SWAC East, real cut and dry.
2-team race.
2-team race. Jackson State win. No conversation needs to be had any further. Starts with Jackson State. Jackson State win. Jackson State loss. Alabama State win. We'll see you in Montgomery for SWAC Championship game. Jackson State loss. Alabama State loss. We'll see you at the vet. Excuse me. That team will then travel to Prairie View.
Okay.
No, let me rephrase that. Jackson State and Alabama State loss, along with a Prairie View win, the championship game switches to the West.
Right. Okay. So Prairie View taking on Valley, which is why we kind of feel like that'll be a win. Yeah. Alabama State's taking on Pine Bluff. I think Pine Bluff is kind of ready for their season to be over. Plus, they don't play well on the road at all. I mean, again, they were averaging 11 points, and you see what they ended up with on the road. The UAPB is just absolutely horrible on the road. Can't explain. I have no idea why they're so bad on the road versus at home. By a 30-point difference, Drew. It's amazing.
Yeah. There's one more scenario out there, Brian. If
Jeff said it wasn't that simple.
Yes, it
I
is.
agree, Jeff. Simple. Right. Hey, in Drew's mind, it's simple, Jeff. But the way he described it, not simple. Go ahead.
Yeah. Jackson State loses. Alabama State loses, and FAMU wins out. You actually have a 3-way tie in the East, Brian.
Lord have mercy. Stop it.
But just so you know, even with a 3-way tie, FAMU is out of it because they have lost to both Jackson State and Alabama State. I just want to put it all out there. Nerds can go ahead and go Christmas shopping. I got you.
The odds of that scenario. Let me just say this: the odds of that scenario are probably less than 1%. Not zero, but I would say probably 0.5% odds of that happen. You got to give it something because you can't say it's not going to happen because it could happen.
It could happen.
But the likelihood is less than 1%.
Yes.
All right. So it brings us to the matchup, the Soul Bowl. Alcorn at Jackson State. 2:30 Central, 3:30 Eastern. Get your popcorn ready. Get your popcorn ready, Drew. All I'm gonna say is I don't think Alcorn is going to lie down. Not after winning 4 in a row and being where they're at with their season. If I'm not mistaken, are they sitting on the edge of 500? I'm looking at the standings right now. Yeah, they're 5-6, Drew. They got a chance to finish the season 500, given where they were, left for dead, and they would revel. Nothing would make their season fan base happier than to make sure that Jackson State can go to the championship game. It's going to be an outstanding game. Fascinating game to watch. So there we go. Florida A&M got the win 26-23 over Alabama A&M. Yeah, nothing to write home about. A little closer game.
You could tell us.
Yeah, I'm not. Make sure to tune into the Monday night review to hear the FAMU perspective as my FAMU Rattler super friends analyze that game. And I got a feeling there's going to be a few disgruntled folk on that show. But we got expectations, Drew. That's what happens when you have expectations. So what's your thought, predictive analysis or thought, Drew, on the big game, the Soul Bowl? The Soul Bowl and the MEAC Championship game. Let's quickly analyze, or let's talk about that for a quick moment.
It's gonna be real simple with the MEAC game. Can South Carolina State slow down the run game of Delaware State? Everything Delaware State does is based on that run game. So can they slow that down? Brian, and I'm just way too early prediction. Well, really not way too early, but I haven't gone inside the weeds and inside the numbers yet. But I cannot roll against a brother who has won the last 29 games in a row, Brian. I love the Deshaun Jackson story. I love the Delaware State story. But until somebody beats Chennis Berry, I will continue to ride the Chinnisberry train.
Yeah, you know what, Drew, you're right. I want to lean on Delaware State. I think it'd be a great story. I think the attention that it would draw into the Celebration Bowl would be fascinating. I think whenever you have new blood, I think every ounce of 15,000 people from Delaware State will show up. But I think man, this is a tough one, Drew. This is a tough one. I might have to shade South Carolina State by like 3 points or less, you know. But the advantage is being home. And if Delaware State gets a great crowd, and you know, maybe that's enough, you know. The thing is, I love the way they run the ball, and they could impose their will. I think that I saw some abilities. North Carolina Central, I thought, ran the ball well against South Carolina State, and that can be replicated against South Carolina State by Delaware State, rather. So, can Del State's defense have the game of their season? That's really what it's going to come down to, I think. Can Del State's defense, because I think the coaching advantage goes to South Carolina State. The intangibles of the record and the streak go to South Carolina State. You know, but Del State has the best rushing offense attack in the nation. That carries. Which
allows them to shorten up the game. If
Yes.
Del State can get up, especially if they get up by 2 scores, advantage Del State.
Yeah.
Advantage Del State. So, Brian, before I switch over to the talk about SWAC and the Soul Bowl, did you notice something unique about these matchups this past week, Brian?
East versus East, West versus West.
Yes, only time this season where we've had everybody within the division.
Really?
Yes.
Oh,
all
that's
6 teams were all 6 teams playing, and everything was a division matchup. Only time it happened on the schedule this year, Brian.
Isn't that the case? No, it's not the case this week.
No.
But all six
teams
games
playing, but there isn't, everything is not intra-division.
Let me ask this: do you like the way that the SWAC schedulers did? This is a change for three straight weeks. I think it is. You'll get all SWAC matchups for 3 consecutive weeks. Normally, I don't think you've gotten that.
Well, one thing, Brian, the 12 game schedule allows that to happen a little bit more. You got a little bit more flexibility, especially with giving these teams those bye games, those bye weeks. And it's not that they're bye weeks. It's the fact that you're not obligated to play a SWAC team, so you can go out and get another game, or you could take it as a bye. Because there are a couple of teams, Brian, in the SWAC that still only played 11 games this year.
Yes, there are. Yeah, not sure why they did that, but they did.
Yeah. So, I still have, getting back to the Soul Bowl, I still have concerns about who's under center for Jackson State.
Okay.
And with a freshman quarterback, is this going to be too much for a freshman quarterback this particular game? I have to ask that question, Brian. Or would Jacoby Morgan make it back? And Alcorn, hottest team, second hottest team in the SWAC right now. Alcorn, don't start reading your press clippings yet. Don't start reading your press clippings because there's a very good Jackson State team that you're going to be going into hostile territory to face.
Yeah,
I'll leave
for
it
some
right
reason,
there.
I don't. Yeah, for some reason, I don't know. I don't think they're gonna read their press clippings. I think they're ready for this. I think they're ready to play spoiler.
Yeah,
we'll see. We'll see. All right, Drew. Well, let's do what we do. Before we, I know we both wanted to mention a little bit about the basketball happenings over the course of the week in the SWAC, but I know we got to get to our top 5 rankings, correct?
Yeah.
All right. This
Stop
is
it, Edwin. Stop it.
week number 6 of the BCSN top 5. The computer rankings, top 5 computer rankings under D1 and Division 1.
Let's start with Division 1.
Under D1.
Let's start with Division 1 because the under D1s are a lot tougher.
Are they really?
I mean, with all these teams in the playoffs, Ryan, I think
I want to see. I'm just curious what the gap. I'm curious what the gap looks like.
Yeah, but I think the story is at the under D1. So let's start at D1.
All right, here we go. Division 1 BCSN top 5 computer rankings, week number 6. Let's see who is sitting on the top. We had a change, I think a week ago or maybe 2 weeks ago. Let's see whether Alabama State is still sitting at number 1.
Ready?
Ready. Let's fire it off. Here we go. Top 5. Well, South Carolina State remains in the hunt. Interesting to see what happens to them after this weekend. Whoa. Number 5 is North Carolina Central, 537. Of course, they are essentially out of the running for the MEAC title after losing to South Carolina State. Number 4, Prairie View A&M, 579.69, the SWAC West Division champs. Second time in the last 3 years that Prairie View has done that. Jackson State, number 3. Did they drop to number 3 or did somebody move and jump ahead of them?
They did drop to number 3.
Wow, they dropped to number 3, 609.24. You guys go ahead and freak out now.
I could tell you why.
Tell me why.
Who did they play?
Bethune-Cookman.
Yeah. For some reason, the computer did not like Bethune-Cookman.
Yikes. Number 2 is Delaware State, 640.36. Playing for the MEAC Championship on Saturday against South Carolina State. And then number 1 is Alabama State, 658.07. So here's the interesting question. And, I heard the conversation and topic this morning. What if, let's just say Jackson State goes ahead and wins the East Division, right?
Mm-hmm.
Will voters, and I'm including me in this as well, Drew, because I've been very, I've said that I had Alabama State as the number 1 team. And it's because of the timing. If people ask me, I know Alabama State, Jackson State, but that was an even ball game to me. Jackson State won it, last play of the game, even ball game. Jackson State then loses a couple weeks later to Grambling State in a neutral site. And ever since that moment, Alabama State in the polls and in the computer ranking has been sitting at number 1 for the last couple weeks. So, Drew, will playing an extra game, being the SWAC championship game, benefit Jackson State enough so that they could jump ahead of Alabama State? What's your thought there?
You're talking about in my personal poll or in the computer?
Either or. You can address both.
In the computer, I have not even looked at that scenario, Brian, but I would say yes, just based on knowing how the formulas work and the algorithm work. Jackson State getting to that SWAC championship game and then ultimately winning that championship game will definitely push them ahead of Alabama State. We'll put that one out there. Don't know if that will put them ahead of a potential MEAC champion, especially right now if that MEAC champion is Delaware State, though, going into a potential Celebration Bowl. That's just on the computers. For me personally, Alabama State's loss to Jackson State, if there's such a good thing as a good loss, a better loss than Jackson State losing to a then unranked Grambling State. So, but I will say this. I said this morning on Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab. Jackson State wins the East. My vote will be flip-flopped.
Mine too.
I have currently been voting Alabama State number 1, Jackson State number 2.
Correct.
But I will, and I am putting this on wax, I will flip my vote next week should Jackson State beat Alcorn and Alabama State beat who they have, UAPB. Yeah. And that's for two reasons, Brian. Alcorn is a better quality opponent than UAPB, and the fact that SWAC Jackson State has made it to the SWAC championship game versus Alabama State, who would then have to face Tuskegee.
Yeah, correct. I'm right there with you. I think I had posted that in the chats on the show, but yeah, I'll echo that as well. That was my thought too. I mean, if Jackson State gets to the SWAC division, wins the division, goes to the championship game, we'll go there. I'm not going to go there with you, Israel. I'm not going, Israel seems to think it's some conspiracy or something, but Jackson State benefited from being in the rankings last year.
Wait, hold up. I gotta have this.
Go ahead, have at it.
Can I say flawed logic? Jackson State started the season pretty much at number 1 in most people's poll. No matter how ugly the win was, Jackson State got the benefit of being number 1 because of their postseason, because of their championship from last year, and coming in ranked high. So when they lose that benefit of the doubt. They lose that cushion. So don't hate on the other teams that are getting those votes out there, Jackson State faithful. And it's all about timing. It's about timing. There's only one team on the Division I level, HBCU wise, that has a longer winning streak than Alabama State, and that is South Carolina State. So when it comes to these polls, it's not only who you beat, but when you beat them.
And let me say that regardless of being the defending national champs, Israel,
that's only good for week 1.
Yeah, that's it. And that's the thing about the polls voted on by people. People look at that kind of stuff and care about that stuff. That's why when the BCSN started doing this, we said, we're going to wait 4 to 5 weeks before we do any type of rankings. We don't do polls, right? So that way we take away the bias of last season, and we get a chance to let people's resume and work of the first 4 weeks of the season speak for itself and the competition. So,
And Brian, what we need to do? Let's do the blind resume test.
Oh man.
And
Don't
see
do that because
I'm just saying, who would, if we just put blind resumes out, who would be number one?
Right, because
1 through
apparently
5.
Israel says if we switched the name, we wouldn't be saying this about Bama State. So I guess we have to do the blind resume test then.
I would say this about Bama State. If Bama State would have came in ranked higher than Jackson State, and the situation would be flip flop, I would say the same thing about them. But it was the same thing last year with South Carolina State, or 2 years ago with North Carolina Central. I mean, and it's been like this for me on the Division II level.
Well,
so I don't know about, I can't speak for anybody else, but I've been consistent with my logic.
And the one thing about our rankings and numbers,
and it's not going to matter. It's all going to play itself out on the field. Let's see who gets to Atlanta. And if you get to Atlanta and you win in Atlanta, guess what? You're going to be number one, Jackson State. But Jackson State folk also, remember Jackson State folk, back in 2021, this was one of the few rankings that still gave you the national championship after losing to South Carolina State. So if you're going to take the good with this, you're going to take the bad with this, Jackson State.
Tell them. Speaking of Jackson State alums, is that what he is, maybe? Shedeur Sanders made his NFL debut today.
He is an alum because he went there.
Okay. Dylan Gabriel got injured, so Sanders took over 4 of 16, 47 yards and an interception. The Browns ended up losing 23-16 to Baltimore. So we'll see if young Mr. Sanders starts the upcoming week. But, yeah, so there you go. Congrats, Jackson State. Let's go to the under D1 rankings, Drew.
I love reading these chats, Ryan.
Oh, man, it's amazing. It's amazing. It's amazing.
I'm glad my life is not run by the chats. Let's get to the real rankings.
Yeah. Okay.
2
well,
weeks
in the hunt. Yeah, in the hunt, 3 schools that are not in the playoffs, Edward Waters, Fayetteville State, Allen University. Great seasons, but comes to an end. Now let's concentrate on the 5. Number 5, the CIAA champions, Johnson C. Smith. At number 4, the at-large seeded Kentucky State Thoroughbreds, winners of 8 games in a row, 9-2 record, best since 1935 or 34. They come in at number 4. Number 3,
depression, Brian. That way you can't get the year wrong.
There you go. Number 3, Virginia Union, the CIAA regular season champs, lost to Johnson C in the championship game, but you can see they are rated higher than Johnson C. Number 2, Benedict College advanced to the tournament as a 4 seed in the NCAA Region 2 rankings. 878 points. And then number 1 would be Albany State. 973. I believe for another consecutive week, Albany State number 1, SIAC champions, and the 1 seed overall in Region 2. The gap, Drew, between Albany State and the champions of the SIAC and the champions of the CIAA is quite significant. How do you explain?
I think it's saying Johnson C may have had a little bit of a easier road there because possibly the West was a little bit. The Old South was a little bit weaker than the Old North when it came to in conference. When you talk about strength of schedule, Virginia Union has won by larger margins throughout the year than Johnson C. Smith. That also plays a factor into it, Ryan.
Mhm.
So just a couple of things that have played into it.
Okay. Let's see. Albany. What did I say? Albany? I can't keep up. Can't make y'all happy. Okay. Well, anything else?
No, sir. Let's get this basketball and pick up the show and get out of here.
Gotcha. It's been a great week for the SWAC men's basketball. Starting there, I'm just kind of going through the scores from the past week. Of course, last Sunday we had the Grambling State win over Howard, a 73-70 victory. Then you had on Tuesday night, Alabama State going on the road. I don't know how far away. It can't be that far. Montgomery to Birmingham.
Hour and a half.
Yeah. So at UAB, getting a 77-74 victory over UAB. First win in program history, I believe, over UAB. UAB was acting all kind of weird about it, but I mean, you know, when you lose to HBCU, the world is on fire with your basketball program. But no mention of the fact that Alabama State went to the NCAA last year, won a tournament game. So probably did more than what UAB did last year, if I'm not mistaken.
So wait a minute. They almost lose to them in football, and they do lose to them in basketball.
Yeah, somebody won't be scheduling Bama State in athletics too much longer here. That might be changing. Let's see. On Tuesday, that was it. Wednesday, Texas Southern almost pulled off an upset. And I call all of these upsets whenever you play PWIs, you know. But they almost beat Samford. The score was 93-90. So they lose by 3. Then on Thursday, which I thought was kind of interesting, the fact that Grambling State was hosting USM. And I should have played it, Drew, because in my eye, I was looking at it. And I was like, I think he's going to win that game. They did end up winning that game. My old coach, Coach Crary, 75-70 over Southern Miss. Another in-state matchup. So I think, first off, the fact that you're Southern Miss going to Grambling and playing, that's, you know, props to you. But then, you know, not in-state, what I say in-state, but neighbor states. So that was a good win for Grambling State. Also on Thursday, Alabama A&M got a 68-64 victory over Charleston Southern. So again, that's 3 mid-major wins in a span of 72 hours. Howard's men ended up beating Alcorn State 72-64. That was a bit surprising. On Friday, Mississippi Valley almost beat Utah Tech, losing by 6, 81-75. And yeah, what I'm seeing, you know, no significant victories on Saturday, but Drew, what I'm seeing across the board, Drew, today, Sunday, Alabama A&M got a 74-65 win over Lindenwood. Is that you?
I didn't realize that was going out. My fault.
Yeah, sorry. Alabama A&M today got a 74-65 win over Lindenwood. So this week, 4 victories over PWI mid-major programs. I think that might be a first. And I was telling you, I think that, you know, those are weeks that can start to get the SWAC off of the 32 line, or the 16 seed line, I should say.
I agree, Brian.
But you got to put more of those together. On the women's side, today, Mississippi Valley State's women got a 72-68 victory over Lipscomb at home at Itabena. That's a good win for them. Just kind of doing a quick glance through the rest of the week. It's never a good sign when you lose to Division. Well, is West Georgia Division II, or did they move up?
They moved up. They're
Okay,
Division
so,
I.
Okay, I'll be quiet then. I won't mention what happened in that game. I don't see any other significant victories on the women's side versus Division I teams. You know, some wins there against some D2s or NAIAs, but nothing else that. I will say the women on the other side in the MEAC, the Howard University women, they're like unbeaten right now, 4-0, as they knocked off another mid-major. You know, they're having the kind of season that Norfolk State's women were having last year.
Speaking of Norfolk State, drawing a blank, their former coach got his first win in his first game.
Auburn coach?
Yes.
Larry
Vickers.
He did get a win, huh? Who'd they play?
I don't remember, but I know they did pick up a win.
Okay. Howard's win, I'll talk about the Howard women. They got a win over Elon, 56-46. They are 5-0. I'm sorry, the 4-0 start, the best start since the 2004 Howard team that started their season 5-0 under Kathy Parson. So, yeah, don't you want to know who's next for Howard? Can they keep this thing going?
Who do they have, Brian?
Howard next plays tomorrow at VCU in Richmond, Virginia. So can the Howard women keep it going? 6 o'clock tip-off. We shall see. Over on the men's side, let's see. I don't recall any big news coming out of the men's side. Other than the Howard victory over Alcorn, but that's like beating your brothers. Norfolk State lost a pair of close games, man. They lost to Old Dominion on Tuesday by 3 points. Had a final possession that looked like garbage. They just, ugh. I hate it when you have like 10 seconds left and you can't get to the paint, and so you end up jacking up a three. Just, yeah. And then Friday, they lost to Towson up in Towson, Maryland by 10, but they had a lead with about as much as they were leading at halftime, and I think they had a lead with about 8 minutes to go. Very winnable ball game by Norfolk State. If you are like me and you were sprinkling anything on the Norfolk State money line, my God, we were so close. So close. So close, Drew. Yeah, so there's your Division I MEAC basketball, MEAC SWAC updates. I don't know, haven't really checked and seen whether North Carolina Central has done anything significant with the basketball just yet. But we'll maybe do a little more research into it going into next week. Make sure to follow our girl, Liv for Hoops. Liv does a great job of highlighting updates or highlighting and updating players and performances from the past week. So if you want to catch anything from her, it's all there. She can definitely help you out. All right, Drew. Any final thoughts? I think we're close to being able to get out of here.
No, yeah, I think we're gonna be good, man.
All right.
I'm just ready for some playoff football.
Huh?
Ready for some playoff football, Brian.
Playoffs?
Yes, playoffs.
Playoffs. All right. All right. Well, for AD Drew, I'm Brian Fulford. Thank you guys for watching the show tonight or listening to the show. Maybe I'll try to get a little bit better with my internet connection next week. We'll see what we can do. Drew's in basketball season now. Division II basketball has started up. So it's basketball season. And for me, I got the Florida Classic week. So it'll be a fun week running smack talk against Bethune-Cookman Wildcat folk.
They playing any are they playing any basketball games surrounding it this year?
Yes.
Sometimes they usually have basketball games during the same time.
The women are playing. So one thing's happened. FAMU's women are playing UCF. When are they playing them? They're playing them Friday. I don't know the time yet, but I know they're playing them Friday. So there you go. So yeah, I'll be looking for that. But all right, Drew. Well, I gotta go count my losses. So another one taken on the chin by your boy. So got to go give more blood, and we'll see what we can do. Try to have a better week than this week.
That's all you can do, brother.
That's all we can do. You guys be safe out there in those streets. Be looking out for an announcement. Maybe Drew will pull it all together and get that Division II playoff conversation together with Sly, Jamie, Chris, Steve.
Sly and Jamie are down. It's just a matter of when and seeing if we can pull in Chris and Steve into it.
Yeah. You trying to make it happen. It should be a good show. Give yourself a couple of days. That way you guys put some nice graphics together for the matchups. But you better call them tonight if you want to make it happen, Drew. I know you do.
We've been texting throughout the show.
There you go. I love it. All right. That's going to do it, folks. Thanks for watching the BCSN SportsWrap. Hit the thumbs up and the like button if you would, wherever you're watching us. Make sure to download the podcast. All of the podcasts, the shows that are on the Black College Sports Network are on the BCSN Pod Zone. That's BCSN Pod Zone on Spotify, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, Apple, Google Podcasts, all those good places. Thank you all. Have a great week. Excuse me. And we'll see you again soon. Peace out.
Travel light, everybody. We'll holler.